In the Grand Kingdom of Arendelle, there lived two young princesses, Elsa and Anna, who were more than just sisters, they were best friends. Every night, they would sneak into the grand ballroom to play, laugh, and run across the polished floors. Elsa possessed a beautiful yet mysterious gift. She could create ice and snow with her bare hands. She would conjure sparkling snowflakes and build magical ice slides, while Anna would giggle with pure delight, calling her the Snow Queen. Their happiness seemed endless, until one night, during their joyful play, Elsa accidentally slipped and struck Anna with a blast of ice to her head. Anna fell unconscious. Terrified, Elsa screamed for help. Their parents, the king and queen, rushed in and immediately took Anna to the wise trolls in the mountains. The troll elder healed Anna but warned that Elsa's powers would only grow stronger and more dangerous if driven by fear. To protect them, he erased Anna's memories of Elsa's magic. From that day on, the castle gates were closed, and Elsa was kept hidden from everyone, even Anna. Elsa locked herself away, afraid of hurting someone again, wearing gloves and avoiding any touch. Anna, confused and lonely, would knock on Elsa's door, begging her to come out and play, singing, "Do you want to build a snowman?" But Elsa never answered. She sat behind the door, crying silently. The once joyful palace turned cold, not from Elsa's magic, but from silence and distance. Though they lived under the same roof, they grew apart like strangers. Elsa lived in constant fear of herself, while Anna lived in constant longing for the sister she once knew. And so, the story of love and separation began, not with enemies, but with two sisters divided by a secret neither of them truly understood. Years passed, and the once playful castle of Arendelle grew quiet and cold, not from winter but from years of silence. After the tragic loss of their parents at sea, Elsa was next in line to rule the kingdom. Despite her fear of being seen, she could no longer hide. The day of her coronation arrived, and for the first time in forever, the grand castle gates were open to the people. Anna was thrilled. She danced through the streets, greeting everyone with excitement, hoping that this day would finally bring her closer to her sister again. Elsa, meanwhile, stood still and composed, desperately trying to stay calm. She kept her gloves on tightly, reminding herself over and over, "Conceal it, don't feel it." The ceremony proceeded smoothly, but when Elsa had to hold the royal scepter with her bare hands, her heart raced. For a brief moment, ice began to creep across it before she quickly pulled away. No one seemed to notice, and she sighed in relief. As the celebration continued, Anna wandered happily through the kingdom and bumped, quite literally, into a charming prince named Hans. Their meeting was awkward but enchanting, and soon they were laughing, singing, and sharing stories under the glowing lanterns. In her loneliness, Anna believed she had finally found someone who understood her. By the end of the night, Hans proposed, and without hesitation, Anna accepted. Overjoyed, she rushed to Elsa to ask for her blessing. Elsa, shocked and confused, firmly refused. "You can't marry someone you just met," she insisted. But Anna, hurt and frustrated from years of isolation, pushed back. The argument grew heated, and in a moment of anger, Anna grabbed Elsa's glove. Elsa panicked, and her fear erupted into a burst of ice that shot across the floor like lightning, freezing the fountain behind her. The entire crowd gasped. Horrified and ashamed, Elsa looked at her trembling hands and realized the truth she had hidden for so long was exposed. Without another word, she fled the castle and ran into the mountains, leaving footprints of ice behind her with every step. The sky darkened as snow began to fall uncontrollably. Rivers froze, rooftops glittered with frost, and the people of Arendelle watched in disbelief as their summer kingdom turned into a land of eternal winter. While the citizens panicked, Anna made a decision. She didn't care about the storm or the danger. Elsa was not a monster, she was her sister. And no matter what, she was going to bring her back. Anna wasted no time. She grabbed a cloak, mounted her horse, and rode into the raging blizzard without hesitation. Snow stung her face, and icy winds nearly pushed her off the trail, but she refused to stop. Her only thought was of Elsa, alone, scared, and believing she was dangerous. As night fell, Anna's horse slipped and bolted, leaving her stranded in the forest. Shivering and exhausted, she stumbled forward until she saw a small trading post glowing with warm light. Inside, she met a rugged ice seller named Kristoff and his loyal reindeer Sven. Kristoff was annoyed at first. He had just lost his business because the entire kingdom had suddenly frozen, but Anna saw an opportunity. She asked him to guide her to the North Mountain, promising to provide supplies. He reluctantly agreed, and the unlikely duo set off together. Along the journey, they faced wolves, freezing lakes, and cliffs of solid ice. Kristoff, though rough on the outside, began to show kindness, wrapping his warm cloak around Anna when she shivered. She, in turn, kept his spirits high with her cheerful stubbornness. Eventually, they stumbled upon a small, waddling snowman who greeted them with a big smile and said, "Hi, I'm Olaf, and I like warm hugs." Anna was stunned. Elsa had created him long ago during their childhood, and now he was alive. Olaf eagerly joined them, dreaming of experiencing summer without realizing what heat would do to him. Guided by Olaf, they reached a dazzling palace made entirely of glittering ice, standing tall like a frozen dream against the sky. Anna's heart swelled with hope. She rushed inside and found Elsa, radiant but distant, dressed in icy elegance. Anna pleaded with her to come home. Elsa listened, but fear still ruled her. She believed she was protecting Anna and the kingdom by staying far away. When Anna told her that Arendelle was trapped in endless winter, Elsa's panic surged. In her distress, her powers lashed out uncontrollably, and once again, an icy blast struck Anna, this time in the heart. Anna staggered, clutching her chest as a cold numbness crept through her. Kristoff rushed to her side, lifting her gently in his arms. Olaf's cheerful face turned to worry as Elsa cried out, apologizing over and over. She begged them to leave before she hurt anyone else. With no choice, Kristoff carried Anna away as the palace erupted with jagged spikes of ice. The cold inside her grew stronger with every heartbeat. Something was terribly wrong, and if they didn't find a cure soon, Anna's heart would freeze forever. Kristoff could feel Anna growing weaker in his arms. Her skin turned pale, and frost slowly spread from her chest to her fingertips. Every breath she took came out like a puff of icy mist. Olaf hurried by their side, his usual cheer replaced with worry. Kristoff remembered the trolls, the very ones who had once healed Anna long ago, and rushed to take her there. The trolls welcomed them warmly, mistaking Kristoff and Anna for a couple and celebrating their love, but the joy quickly faded when they saw Anna collapse. The wise elder troll placed his hand over her heart and frowned deeply. He revealed the terrible truth. Elsa's ice had struck Anna's heart, and only an act of true love could melt the frozen curse. Kristoff immediately thought of Hans. Believing that true love's kiss would save her, he placed Anna on his sleigh and raced back toward Arendelle with Sven galloping at full speed. Meanwhile, Elsa had been captured by Prince Hans and his guards, who found her after her panic triggered another icy explosion. They brought her back to the castle in chains as if she were a criminal. Locked in the dungeon, Elsa trembled, not from the cold but from guilt. She believed she had ruined everything. But high above the kingdom, the storm grew worse, reacting to her fear. The blizzard thickened until no one could see past their own hands. Back at the castle gates, Kristoff arrived just in time. He carried Anna inside and begged the servants to bring Hans immediately. Anna was fading, her voice nearly gone, but hope shone in her eyes as Hans approached. She whispered for him to kiss her. But instead of leaning forward in love, Hans leaned back and smirked. His expression turned cold as he revealed his true intentions. He had never loved Anna. He had only pretended, planning to marry her so he could take the throne. Now that Elsa was seen as a monster and Anna was dying, he intended to kill Elsa and rule Arendelle himself. He left Anna alone in a cold room, locking the door as the last warmth left her body. Unable to move, she fell to the floor as her heartbeat slowed. Outside, the storm roared louder. Hans declared to the kingdom that Anna was dead and Elsa had caused it. He drew his sword and strode into the blizzard to find the Snow Queen, ready to end her life. Across the courtyard, Kristoff saw the raging storm and sensed Anna needed him. He ran back through the blizzard, desperate to reach her. Olaf broke into Anna's room and helped her toward the door, reminding her gently that love is putting someone else's needs before yours. Weak and trembling, Anna realized that the person who truly cared for her wasn't Hans, it was Kristoff. Gathering all her strength, she stumbled into the storm, looking for him. But fate had other plans. Through the swirling snow, she saw Hans raising his sword above Elsa, who stood helpless and unaware. Anna was torn. Her life was fading away, her body nearly frozen, but her heart still chose love. Anna could barely move. The cold had taken over almost her entire body, turning her limbs stiff like ice. But when she saw Hans raise his sword to strike Elsa, something stronger than fear pushed her forward. Elsa stood in the storm, crying, unaware of the sword above her. She had lost control of her powers, lost her sister, and lost all hope. In that moment, Anna had a choice, to save herself or save her sister. Without hesitation, she turned away from Kristoff, who was running toward her, and forced her frozen legs toward Elsa. As Hans brought the sword down, Anna stepped between them. The blade hit her turning body, and in an instant, she turned completely into solid ice. The steel shattered against her frozen form. Hans was thrown back by the impact, stunned. Elsa turned around just in time to see Anna standing there, still, silent, frozen. Her heart broke. Elsa dropped to her knees, wrapping her arms around Anna's icy statue. She sobbed uncontrollably, whispering apologies and begging her to come back. The storm calmed. The winds faded. Snowflakes slowed in the air and gently touched the ground. In the silence that followed, Elsa cried out in pain, her tears sliding down Anna's frozen cheek. And then, something extraordinary happened. A faint warmth began to glow inside the ice, spreading from Anna's heart outward. Cracks of light shimmered across her body until, with a soft breath, the ice melted away. Anna blinked and looked up at Elsa. Elsa gasped in disbelief. Anna was alive. The trolls, words echoed in her mind, only an act of true love can thaw a frozen heart. And Anna had performed that act. Not with a kiss, not with romance, but with pure selfless love for her sister. Elsa suddenly understood. Love was not her weakness. It was the key to controlling her power. With newfound confidence, Elsa lifted her hand and waved it gracefully. Snow melted from rooftops, rivers flowed again, and the eternal winter faded into a warm summer breeze. The entire kingdom watched in amazement as flowers bloomed across the ground. Hans tried to flee, but Anna confronted him and punched him straight into the water, proving she was no longer the naive girl he had fooled. Kristoff approached Anna shyly, unsure if he could speak, but she smiled and jumped into his arms, thanking him for everything. Elsa created a personal flurry cloud for Olaf so he could enjoy summer without melting, and Sven happily chased after drifting snowflakes. At last, Elsa reopened the castle gates, not just to the kingdom, but to the world she had once shut out. She held Anna's hand tightly and promised never to shut her out again. The kingdom of Arendelle finally returned to peace, not because winter had ended, but because love had begun.